results. Dean, you got 15 seconds.
I just wondered if, Sue, you could have your staff come out and update this neighborhood about.
They plan to. Steve and I met with Jeremy and Ken, and when did they say March, or
Yeah.
when did they say they were going to be coming back?
Can I talk about the 4 brief issues on that and when they're going to be following up here? Or do you want me to do that at the end?
Why don't we save it to the end?
Okay.
Because yeah, we kind of, well,
There'll be an answer.
There'll be an answer.
I don't know. You know what? Why don't we do this? Let's take a vote. Who wants to save it for the end? Hands up.
We don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Who wants to save this thing? You don't know what we're talking about until the end. Hands up. Okay, who wants to find out what this thing is right now and do the survey results? Okay, so more hands for finding out now. So why don't you go ahead and talk about this?
Okay. Council Chair Sue Marshall was kind enough to attend the meeting that I had with Ken Lader. He's the Public Works Director for the county. Jeremy Provenzolo was there. He's the Public Works professional engineer in charge of the 179th Street and this area. And we talked about, I think, 4 different issues. One is the 179th Street and the presentation last visit. They said that the 29th Avenue intersection with some 179th was going to be closed for two years. And basically those people representing the county told us that, oh, talk to your council person. There's nothing we can do about that. And Ken and Jeremy both said, no, that's not right. And the agreement was, quote, all service needs regarding access and egress to and from 179th Street during the 29th Avenue road closure will be met regarding safety and accessibility issues. And so that basically is the fire department, police department, waste management, school districts, postal service, and they promised that that would be taken care of, and that someone here had kids in elementary school.
Me.
And
well, we've already shown that that's moot by what's happening
right
now with this current closure.
And please follow up with Jeremy Provenzolo and Ken
He's
later,
the one I was on the phone with last night.
and let them know that their plans need to.
Oh, he knows. He knows.
The other issue that we addressed was amphitheater traffic and the roundabout. And there was agreement that this is the problem of the county's creation. When they approved the amphitheater, the county did not address it at that time. That predated our council chair's stint on the council. And they're still trying to figure out a way to mitigate that traffic problem. And the planned roundabout for Del Fell and 179th Street will be at the current plan for that will not address the amphitheater traffic, which is unfortunate. So again, reach out not just to our council person. Sue Marshall is fully aware, she's fully backing us up, but this is a county-wide issue, and send your emails to other council people, because any vote has to pass with a 3-vote margin at the council to get anywhere. The other issue addressed was traffic and speeding on 29th Street. Chuck Green of City of Ridgefield told me about a grant to get a solar-powered speed sign to tell cars how fast they're going. I passed that grant information along to the county, and they said they'd pass it along to their person to apply for the grant. And the last issue that deals with traffic is the I-5 exit 11 West connector. And at the December 19th meeting of the Ridgefield City Council, I requested that they modify their traffic improvement plan map to include the north route, and they did it. So we got that sent. And then just today, I believe the Clark County Council agreed to send another letter to our legislators in support of Ridgefield's trying to get an exit there. Was that?
That's correct.
Yay!
Yay!
So good. And,
Just trying to get an exit. Where?
exit 11 currently only goes east to Battleground. We want it to go west
I thought we would have to.
towards Ridgefield. And then the last issue is, yes, Jeremy and Ken later acknowledged that the last visit was poorly managed, and they offered to come. They said that, I said, well, how about January's meeting? Said, well, we have a couple things on the burner. Let us come in March because we'll be able to give a lot more definitive answers at that point. But they understand that they need to be more empathetic and understanding to the needs of our neighborhood. So, anything else?
Thanks, Steve. Great, appreciate that. We are gonna take a look at some 2024 neighborhood survey results, which I think will be interesting. I won't take a ton of time, but I think it's kind of fun to look at this stuff, see if you can. So we asked some demographic questions just to find out who lives in our neighborhood, really what's the makeup. So we're gonna go through some of those things that are interesting. You can see here that we've got 30.1% have been here over 20 years of respondents, I should say. And I thought this was interesting. Less than 2 years and 3 to 5 years are about 35% as well. So we also have about 35% of folks have been here less than 5 years. So a third over 20, a third under 5, and about a third in the middle there. This is, do you rent or own? Respondents were heavily owners. This is not a surprise. I think folks who rent don't often participate in the neighborhood association. Not that we don't welcome them, we love it, they came. But I think it's just, you know, the nature of being able to move if things go bad, right? It's a little harder for owners. How many adults 18 plus live in your household? So you can see about 71% of us only have 2 folks in our household, 9.1 with 3, and these are just adults. I was trying to find out if how many people are, you know, definitely not. 14% have 1, so I should say 2 or less is about 85% of us in the household, adults, not children. How many children? And this is so 1, and this is of 23 respondents. I should note that as well. A lot of these responses are like, you know, 120 answers, but only 23 of the respondents had children, and it looks like about 2 is what folks have.
And they weren't all mandatory.
They weren't all mandatory, yeah. It's true. I guess we could have put a 0 on there. Did you know about us before receiving the postcard, basically in the mail? Looks like 70% of our respondents did, but a third of respondents or less responded having just first seen that postcard, which is lovely. So we asked about folks attending meetings, and as you can see, a lot of folks that responded, 64%, had actually not attended a meeting, but we love the input. And then the remaining folks can see how they come to a meeting or an event. We asked about days of the week to have the meetings and time, and we're gonna keep doing it. Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Most folks said Wednesday evening was the best, 52.8%. And then I think this is the time. Yeah, just a little less than 50%. 43% said 7 p.m., but 6 p.m. doesn't work that great for us. So we're gonna stick with this time. Most folks do have the ability to attend virtual meetings, so we're going to keep doing it. We are going to keep doing them hybrid. So I think we had a plan originally to alternate and do only virtual, but it just wasn't as fun as like seeing all you guys, you know. So these are a little bit more questions that I think are important, actually. I mean, it's nice to get the demo stuff, but we're asking people what's important to them. So red is very important, green is kind of important, yellow is no opinion, blue is really not important. And so you can see that the most important things for folks are like garden and excess produce share, which I was kind of surprised by. or a service man to help seniors with their yard work, neighborhood cleanup, sponsorship, and things like that. By the way, I should mention all these results are already posted on our website under the event link. So if you just go to the website to this event, you'll be able to access all these slides as well as the raw data. So that's out there in an Excel spreadsheet if you want to look at it. Speaking of raw data, we had some free form questions, which taught us a lesson. A good lesson about asking too many free form questions. If you have 123 respondents and you ask them 6 free form questions, you have 738 actual things that you got to read. So it was a lot to break this down and summarize it. But these are the questions that we asked. And I'll go through them one by one here with a general summary of what we saw. So, are there activities not listed above? There was kind of a list of activities, things that we've done, which you feel the neighborhood associations should participate. And the responses that people were interested in was they said neighborhood watch. That was kind of a big one. Biking, hiking, walking activities, trail maintenance. So it seems like we had some folks saying maybe we should host events where people get moving. Fundraising for the meeting, rating, experience with contractors, traffic advocacy of the county. These are things that were in there. A couple of them, like for example, rating experience with contractors, I wanted to call that out. Some of them were just things we're not gonna do, right? Like there's an Angie's List out there. I think they were kind of going, what if we had a place where we could say, I worked for this person, they were great. Some folks responded with things like, my neighbor has a lot of trash in their yard. Right, so a lot of times people think we're an HOA, but we're not. But this is what folks wanted most. So neighborhood watch came up a bunch of times. We should also say that, by the way, they're in the order in which it seemed like most to least. So I put sort of interesting ones at the end that were maybe worth talking about, but not hit on. What are your greatest desires or concerns regarding our neighborhood? So many people said they want reasonable development, they want to be controlled, they want to not have huge impact on our lives, they want to maintain the rural character of our community. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. Improved traffic management, particularly near the fairgrounds. We're already talking about it before this. Safety, especially as it relates to speeding. So a lot of folks, sounds like, are dealing with speeding issues. And we can, the survey is for us to figure out what are people interested in, and we can start working on what are we going to do to help people with this stuff, right? And then timely notice and information regarding county projects. What features or amenities would you like to see come to our community? So more parks and green spaces, particularly family-friendly locations, more local businesses, restaurants, stores, and other retail. That was, I think we could all use. Bike lanes, trails, and multi-use paths, sidewalks, and crosswalks. These are the things that were asked for most.
More businesses, but they want to maintain the rural feel of the neighborhood.
I love that so Maureen just said more businesses, but they want to retain the rural character of the neighborhood. Yeah, it is interesting. You will see contradictions in here. This is why I decided we were going to do it anyway, but I wanted to give you the raw data so everybody can go out and look at it and see. I think it makes sense. It's not always the same people saying the same things, right? And so there's some sense to that. If I were to try to just speak for all 123 respondents and put a bow on it that made some sense, it would probably be that we want to maintain the rural character of our neighborhood, and anywhere development is happening, we want it to impact us as little as possible. And when it's all done, we want there to be stuff for us there. We want to be able to walk to stores and bars and restaurants and have a good time, right? So that's, I think, the feeling I was getting from it. And if you can't tell how much I poured over these questions, I must have read these answers 500 times. But I get the feeling that's what folks were saying. It will seem contradictory though, as we go through some stuff. So we asked the question, what are we doing well? As well as what we didn't improve on. and I really appreciate everybody's answers. It can be hard to ask a question like that and read anonymous answers, but people are really pretty nice by and large. We are communicating well, they said. We're creating a channel for neighbors to share their concerns. People like that we're holding regular meetings and making them accessible. People mentioned that we have a friendly approach in our outreach. We had one quote that I felt like I had to comment on that said, we have nice, expensive, professional photos on our website. I know, so there's a couple like that. We use the free photos that are included with the website purchase. We don't spend any money on that. Our treasurer shows the treasure every month, and so you can see, or every 5 months, I guess, you can say we don't do that. So those photos are not expensive. They're included.
They're free.
They're free. Yeah. And then what could we do better? Improve communication to residents. That's the best thing we were doing. Right? So it feels a little country, but obviously I think they're not wrong. We can always do better, right? Create a newsletter. They said it differently, but basically they were saying create a newsletter with a defined period, which I love that. I love that idea. Encourage greater county responsiveness. Host periodic updates regarding 179th at I-5. I kind of love that was all happening already before I even started talking about this stuff. It's good, great. And then limit the CCSO, so Clark County Officer, right, to 15 minutes. We try to limit them to 5 every time. Yeah, so that's why at the beginning of this meeting, if this is your first meeting, you heard me say, we're 5 minutes and no more. That's, they're right on the head. Yeah. And then, is there anything else you'd like us to know? So they said, what's happening with the Exit 11 West project? Steve just told us. Thanks, Steve. And these were kind of all over in terms of the way they were framed, but I wanted to provide something I thought was interesting. They said, maybe you could ask some questions about what is development really doing. For example, investigate the vibration limits and levels that could damage your houses during road construction. We have an expert on that. We have an expert on that. Okay, great.
Our houses are shaking.
You and me both, sister.
Well, there you go. Awesome. So when I read that, I thought that
Road construction, but
Yeah.
also once they start building houses,
Mhm.
they do the shape. the
Well, big trucks are gonna be able to-
Yeah, if you haven't experienced it, you might think, what? But really,
Awful.
but it's a good question. Somebody said, clearly this is a county written survey, based on the questions you're asking.
Didn't know about it,
I'll
didn't know about it.
On this one.
Yeah.
This is what I do in my day job is I write things like this for my day job. So I wrote the survey.
We wrote all the questions, 100%.
Yeah, this was
So-
not a county thing.
Yeah, with that. So, and then we had a lot of nice words and thank yous, which we appreciate. You are very welcome. So thank you guys, for that stuff. Do you have questions about the survey results? I just went through that fast. Yeah,
So I noticed, early on, there was like, how many people did not come to meetings, and only heard about it through the survey.
yeah.
Do we know if that actually generated any people actually coming to the meetings after they got the survey?
I'm not sure. Is anybody here for the first time because you got that survey? No, okay.
Or online. Anyone
online.
online?
It might be a question that we ask next time, right? I think it's a good question to ask, and I wish I did. And actually, just for anybody listening, because they didn't hear talk, he said, a third of respondents had not actually been to a meeting, had just heard about us from the postcard. And is there any way to know if those folks are now coming to meetings? And so yeah, we don't really know.
How many residences are there in Fort Creek's Neighborhood Association?
How many residences are there, Mary?
8,000.
Yeah,
The households that we send the
Households.
postcards out to is around 8,000.
We got 124 responses.
123 respondents. I
Not
know.
great. Not great.
Yeah, right. So I'm saying it's actually not bad. I agree. It's not bad. Even though it might feel like that.
It's a
good start.
It is. Before I moved here, I lived in a neighborhood with 8,000 households, and I was the chair of the neighborhood association there as well, believe it or not. And we didn't ever have a room like this. And this is what it looks like every time we have this meeting, you guys are here. So this is pretty good. Just to let you know. Yeah, pretty good. And they had a lot less parking probably. So, any other questions about the survey? Seen any online really by chance?
No.
Okay,
No.
great. Well,
They did a good job.
thank you. As I said, the raw data is out there. It's in the event page right now. And so if you wanna, as well as the slides that I included, so you can see it that way. So if you wanna go ahead and just take a look at it and generate more questions, feel free to send them my way. Or if you're a data person and you wanna, synthesize something from that data, some insights, and send it to us, we're open to that too. We love that. So from the survey, I also, and from these meetings actually, realized that folks don't really know what's on our website. And so I want to take a quick moment to look at some of that. We're just gonna jump to, let's see, this little, I gotta get a presentation one. We're gonna jump to the website real quick and look at it. It's changing all the time, and which is a good thing. We're always improving stuff, but it means that folks don't know that, right? Oh yeah, it's escape, of course, it's escape. Okay, so let's just take a quick run through the website. I'm gonna sit down for this and make it a little easier.
Okay, so I'm gonna need to go to the actual webpage then.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, please go to the webpage. And we'll just do this quick. I know nobody wants to see some guy surfing the web, but I think it's worth doing. So on our website on the front page, we have right here our mission, events, and get involved. Events is really useful because it's going to tell you when meetings are, right? So it's also going to just click through.
What is the address?
Oh, I forgot. Sorry. It is, and I forgot we were going to use the computer that Mary Lee is using right now. So I just assumed we would have internet. And I forgot. I mean, we would have had internet. I forgot that. We're not doing that. So give me just a moment to get internet.
Let's see, I'll find it. There it is. There it is. I found it.
My hotspot does it. Well, hotspot's not going to be as good. So maybe I won't do a full review like I was going to do. And I'll just point to some important stuff. Oh, there's the events page. So here's today's event. I'm going to go to November because I think it's worth taking a moment to look at what will be out there after the meetings. So down here on the page, after, you get the details for the meeting as well as the Zoom link. But after the meetings, we're putting out here the PowerPoint presentation, our meeting notes. This one had the 2024 survey results because we were going to talk about it in November, but didn't. And then there's a video recording of the meeting on YouTube. And so we'll link all of those in the event page. So wanted to just call that out. Back to the homepage. Yeah, there. Below that, we have our blog. And so this just shows the 5 most recent things, but we're posting stuff all the time. Usually it's things like, flu, the sheriff roundup, or flu shot, the sheriff's roundup. So things that are free for you, or community events, or good information. If you click at the top on news, it will give you everything we've posted. These are just the most recent 5. Upcoming events here. And then the main event, just so I don't take too much time, is really resources. So under this resources tab, you can see all the land use notices, right? Where our biggest worry is development.
Okay, let me catch up with you.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Where is the resources? At the top.
Hover over the menu, it's blocked on your screen by something.
Well, you want to feed the fish before you come to bed?
Okay.
You know where the results of your screen is blocking it.
No, 3 in a row.
3 days in Hello?
No, last night, this morning,
Somebody came off mute,
tonight.
I think. You mute?
Somebody, yeah,
It's up here
it's right
on,
behind that. It's right behind that. I don't know what to tell you. It's right behind that block, that box.
I can see it on your screen, Marilee. It's up just a tiny bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, right
There
there.
you go. Well, and that's a different one. If you hover over resources and then click on land use notices, that's where we are. And so,
okay.
well, this seems to be, yay, technology. Down here, you people on Zoom can see it, are all the land use notices. Oh, they're there. That come through. This is worth looking at, I think, especially if you have something that's
Wow, you've got
happening
close.
near you and you want to know what it is. And when we post these on here, we'll post, for example, type 3 application, type 2 application rather, which means that public comment will be taken. And I put in the date there at the end. So public comment due 1/24/25 on this data thing. So you can have a quick look at it and see that, and then click through and it will give you the land use notice. I'm not going to do that because of the way the web is working right now. Under resources is also the meeting minutes, as I mentioned. Those are linked in the event page as well. And then this is really what I wanted to show you is the general resources. So we got a few responses in the survey that said, I have no idea where this neighborhood is located. I couldn't find the boundaries anywhere. That is here on this page. So the 4CNA boundary map. Sorry, yeah, okay. Is right here, as well as a description of the boundaries. We have important community pages, things like the weekly projects report or the Clark County calendar. If you're like, when is the next meeting? You can get that stuff there. 4CNA documents, so our bylaws, our role descriptions, other things. This is one that came up a couple times recently, safety resources. You can report a crime, links to that, and then the community crime map. Anybody remember that coming up? So if you click on this link, you'll be able to get a map and you'll be able to search by crime type and see what's happening near you. You know, you might get some interesting results. I mean,
Don't look at it late at night.
don't look at it. Exactly.
It's like a scary movie.
Amphitheater stuff, upcoming events, this links to their page, alternate routes to avoid the traffic. Obviously means you're driving around it, but and then some other resources. Some of these that came from our last meeting, actually, the construction traffic delays interactive map. Or if you want to receive notifications for public works closures, you can click on those links. So anytime we hear something in this meeting that sounds like it would be useful, we try to add it to our page. If there are things you guys think would be useful to be out here, let us know. Love to add that to the resources page. See if there's anything
So this is
else.
frequently updated?
Yep, pretty frequently. Yeah, I just updated it today. So yeah, so it's pretty frequently updated too. Great, I just wanted to see if I was missing anything else. So thank you for bearing with me on that, but I wanted folks to, see that stuff. So questions about anything on the website? Great. We're gonna whip through this next part and then it'll just be, you folks can talk about things you want to the room. So our Four Creeks Neighborhood Association board elections in March. We could use your help. We are all up for this is starting at the beginning. Oh, it did. Yay. We're all up for re-election, or if you want to be the chair of this neighborhood association or the treasurer, you can do that. If you want to do some other things, that is available as well. We're open to project work. Some of the things you saw from the survey, right? Somebody said, what if you had a newsletter? Well, what we need to do that is we need somebody who wants to write a newsletter, right? People want to have some activity events, right? What if we had some biking events or some a neighborhood cleanup, right? Something like that. It'd be great if somebody wants to organize a project like that. And a lot of us have done these things in the past. So if you think, well, I have an interest in that, but I've never done it and I don't know what to do, we're happy to get you started actually organizing the event that you might love to do. So So we're open to that. So then I should mention it's on there now, is that executive roles are up for election. Committee chairs serve at the discretion of the board. Love that phrase. But in the past, we've elected, we've kind of put them on the ballot for stuff. It seems like it just made it confusing for everybody. So we're not going to do that anymore. We're just going to elect the board roles that are required by the bylaws, and then appoint anybody who would love to have a chair position. So as I said, these are the roles: president, vice president, treasurer. Secretary is the role we need. Right now, Jessica's doing both treasurer and secretary, but we could use a secretary because that person takes the notes during the meeting. We're trying to get our treasurer to be able to participate a little bit more in this meeting. So if somebody wants to take notes, or if you know somebody, nominate. And these are other roles needed. Heidi did have to resign her role as land use chair. So that's why we don't have a Heidi tonight. Unfortunately, she has a new job that is taking up just too much of her time. So, but that is an important role. That land use chair is the person who reviews all those land use notices and tries to let us know if we've got a 5 million square foot pig farm coming to our neighborhood or whatever might be, you know. So, so we could use a land use chair, and then, you know, I put some ideas on here: neighborhood coordinator, community event coordinator. Any resident of Fort Creeks can nominate themselves or another resident. You can nominate anytime before the vote, including at the meeting itself. If we get the nominations before the election day, we will happily put a statement on our website. So if you said, you know, here's my statement, this is my name, this is my background, here's why I want to do this, we're happy to put that up for you. Same for at the election meeting. Folks may be nominated there. You get a couple minutes to say who you are, what your background is, what you want to do in the role. And then before I talk about this, actually, I'll just say, if anybody's thinking I might want to join this, but I don't really know these guys, and I don't know if this will be fun or if this will take a lot of time or anything like that, shoot us an email. I'm happy just to have a coffee with you and talk about it, what you might want to do. Or if you know somebody who might, have them reach out, maybe just to like have a chat about it. So anyway, the voting process will take place in person, paper ballot. So folks in the room will be voting. It is on our bylaws. You can see there. Votes will be counted that day, if not within 5 days. Meeting's not there. I forgot to put the slide in there that says, now it's resident.
Open house.
Open house, yeah, must delete it. So does anybody have things that you guys want to talk about in here? Yeah, go ahead.
Can we try and schedule a shredding event?
I love that idea. So she said, can we try to schedule a shredding event? Absolutely. Are you our shredding chair?
No, I need to.
Does anyone have connections to?
Yeah, if anybody has connections to companies that do shredding.
The Lions do it,
Oh.
and
Great.
we've got a Lions guy here.
Senator Lyons member, and yes, we do shredding events. We're having another one. And there is some expense involved. You know, it's pretty expensive to rent a truck, but sometimes you get we've had volunteers chipped in and paid for the truck. So we do 2 a year.
How expensive?
Lions.
Do you know the number?
I don't, but I know who has it, which I can provide information for. Yeah, I don't know.
Where is it at? I mean, maybe we could just put the dates on our website.
I like that too.
Well, what you have to do is you have to schedule with the people that do this up front, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why they're not, some of these people that do it, they have to have a person that you pay to operate that equipment. So that's the thing that's complicated sometimes.
I think what she might be saying is she would love to shred her stuff at the Lions event. And
Lions would be glad to share that information too.
Yeah.
And could we like put it on our website? So
Yeah.
everybody
Oh, yeah. Because
what happens is, they do it for donations, or donations is, we provide every time we do it, a specific charity that is worthwhile, you know, and so, we also collect lots of food items at the same time, and people know that. And so, it's one of our fundraising activities. And sometimes somebody from Linesville, I just came from a week ago, we went to another, I didn't know these Fort Cricks associations and stuff. They're all different. Even the bylaws are different.
Oh, yes.
And they do a stagger. The one I was at, they stagger the president and secretary so that there is leadership that is ongoing. Not everybody gets elected annually. They stagger that. So there's always somebody that knows what is going on in the previous years. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Maybe some people are just perpetual presidents and secretaries and treasurers, which can last a long time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this has been real educational because it's my first camp. I got a notice on our bulletin board in our, our apartment building, which is right next to the entrance to the Wazoo campus. And there's 2 or 3, it's seniors, 95 units. So we're just renters. But our biggest concern is that traffic speed trap.
Yeah.
Out there, at the middle of the night or on weekends, I've seen, when I'm walking my dog 5 times a day, I see motorcycles that they do the wheelies at 80 miles an hour. I don't know how fast they're going, but you can't hardly see them. They're going so fast. And this is a safety factor.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know if that sign would do any good, but maybe the speed bump would help. Because I've seen speed bumps or the circles, you can't do it there because there's none property on either side. There's gotta be some things that make sense.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, thank
That
you.
could be a submission to the.
Traffic management.
For that. For,
On
For the
website.
neighborhood traffic management.
the neighborhood traffic management. Yeah, on our website, we have a link to submit a request like that, if you want to check it out.
This is all new. I just
Yeah.
got the information.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Andrew, we do have a
Do
question.
you know where that link would be? Does not.
Oh, it keeps out.
What was the location that he was talking about?
By WSUV, there's a 95 unit apartment complex.
What's the cross street about?
Oh. Well, it goes from, it's part of the campus where they have that flashing light that changes all the time.
Is it by,
If you go past the entrance and keep going north, you have that flashing light. Well, they speed
by
all the way from,
Bonaventure?
Huh?
By Bonaventure or?
no, we're close to Bonaventure, but that the stretch from where the flash, where you turn to go down to Chucky's,
Yeah.
okay, from that light
Yeah.
all the way to the next light north, that's a speed zone for all the idiots that want to,
That turns
They
into
got-
134.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay,
what
so
happens
it's when you
is,
come around.
it's what, you see, and then you got Bonaventure feeding people. You got the trails where I live feeding people. You got the next apartment, big complex feeding people. There's 3 right there, and when traffic comes at rush hour from the campus, it's car to car.
Well, we're all being funneled down that way as well because of these road closures.
Yeah, I assume there was another reason why the traffic is so bad.
We're not
So
seeing
anybody
Thomas,
going
but
down
we're being
that
funneled.
way is creating a massive problem for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now that University Village feeds into that, you try to get to I-5 and 205 going that way, you're gonna have a problem. Because it's a nightmare, it's a traffic jam at certain times.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, so,
Thank you. Question about virtual.
Would you like to address that?
What's the
There's
question?
an online question if we will be performing virtual voting this year.
Oh, I see. No, we will not be. So the question online says, will you be performing virtual voting this year for the board? And we will not. Our bylaws still say that it needs to be written. We tried to do it last year. We kind of got prepared for it and then just I don't even remember what snags we ran into.
We had just all the big issues in the world
Yeah, I think so.
and some technology snags, and it just, we didn't get to it.
I think thinking about it now too, and I think that what happened was we updated our bylaws and missed one section, didn't realize that there was another section below yeah, I think it's quoted here actually too.
Can we talk about the shredding of Indias and where it's,
We're gonna post it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get that too.
Great.
and what kind of donations are they looking for?
Money or food items, it sounds like.
It's a free donation, period. So, but most people,
Saturday,
because
March
knowing what
29th.
we're doing, will do something, at least food.
Does anybody else want to have an announcement? Yeah.
More of a question in the, I think it was the September meeting, the Clark County Sheriff was here and mentioned that the intersection of Northwest 41st Avenue and 199th Street was very high on the list of review for accidents.
Northwest.
Northwest.
Okay.
Yep. Does anybody know what the status of that is? Project review?
Oh, I didn't. Trying to picture what I always picture
What
one.
was the location again?
It's 190.
It's 199.
It's
Yeah,
worth it.
41st.
Is it?
199th and what was the intersection?
What is it?
North of Milosh's house.
No.
How do I know?
Northwest 41st and 199.
I assume that you live near there.
Past
Past there.
West.
I'm just trying to picture what the,
It's just flat ground.
it's so maybe speeding, maybe why it's accidents. Okay, I was just trying
Four-way
to,
stop where people blowing through.
It's a two-way stop.
Sure.
East-west stops,
Okay.
north-south doesn't stop, and that's.
I'll send the sheriff an
oh, so
email.
41st doesn't stop.
No.
41st is not stopped.
Oh, that's, I see. Okay, and 199 maybe thinks they can just.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So,
I don't need that. Ridgefield School District has a handout there. Is anyone from the school district here who wants to talk about it?
Doesn't seem like it.
Okay,
Maybe they were earlier.
For the levy,
yeah.
I saw that Battleground Public Schools also has something out as well.
Yeah.
Just a reminder to vote.
Yeah, to vote for that. Thank you.
I mean, yes,
Living on 11,
and this is for the folks online, really, so it's not for me.
the big trucks going up and down 11th and using their Jake brakes, not talking about 11th, like,
Oh, yeah, right by us.
yeah, and it's ridiculously noisy. I mean, my driveway, I think I'm gonna die every time I drive out it, because it's blind road, and I'm just wondering, are those trucks supposed to even be on that road, and aren't they supposed to be on the frontage road?
What kind of dump trucks and stuff?
Yeah, they, yeah.
County told me that they had the right to use the road, that problem with the Jake Bridge is called code enforcement.
What road is it again?
11th. Problem is they've improved all those housing developments on 11th and there's no improvements on 11th.
Mhm.
So all the trucks are using 11th.
Well, but they're gonna think about it.
So the other question I have, just because I live there.
It's
is
their intention on improving.
Does anybody know when they're changing the urban growth boundary that's right across the street? I mean, you can't build. I want the heck out of there before they start building on my road. I've been there 47 years, but it's time to go away.
On the west side? Right. The comp plan update, and maybe that would be a future meeting.
Yeah,
an
it could be.
update on
Could
that,
be.
and what may be proposed related to any potential expansions of the growth boundary. I'm not aware of anything in that area that's expanding, more proposals along Site 5.
There's
It
one
has
site
been-
specific request on 189 to be included in the urban growth area. It's like one or two property owners.
Right.
It's a site specific request, so it's not.
So just to clarify for everybody in the room too, So there's the boundary moving, right, which just happened with the concurrence of suicide before we moved that boundary out and opened it up. But that's been done. To do that again, you can correct me on any of this. To do that again is going to take a lot of work, but there are site-specific requests. So it means that if there are a lot of people who they want to develop their property, but the boundary didn't move beyond them, they're saying, well, maybe we could just include inside of the boundary, right? So
There's that, and each of the cities is looking to put, some are requesting expansions of
Sure.
the growth boundary. That will all be, they'll be planning all this year. The deadline to make that final decision, which the county council will make, is this end of the year, December 2025. So.
will it be a lifting or of the boundary that was into that, or is this holding that?
It could be either
Oh,
one.
it could be either. You guys decide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, well, we can all decide together.
I love it.
Because we just had the first people knocking on the door asking if we wanted to sell.
I get that myself.
Yeah, but it's the first
When
time.
they ask me, I ask them what are they planning on farming,
Yeah.
what do they want to grow?
Nice.
Well, I only have an acre, so it doesn't make much of a farm. It's nice and rural and most beautiful view.
Great.
Stunning sunsets. And things. I'm like, do I want to be that old lady that just does build around me?
Don't you though?
There'll be opportunities for public input, so Andrew will be all over it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
So,
they know it.
yes, there will be public
Chair Marshall, can,
input opportunities.
can an individual lot become an island as part of an urban growth boundary, or does it have to be adjacent to the current boundary?
Generally, it's adjacent.
Okay, so separate islands are very unlikely to go through.
There are some requests for land division, so it could be a 10-acre rural 10-acre, or even an ag 10-acre that wants to go down to 5. There's all manner of individual requests that will be considered in some fashion. So, and yeah, so
I don't think you can have somebody wanting their piece way out here to be part of.
no,
Right.
it has to be
It
adjacent.
would have to be adjacent.
Okay.
But the requests are there. You're right, right? And again, correct me if I'm wrong. But I think I was at a council meeting where Arthur said there was something like 300 community requests that they considered were not really gonna happen.
I'd say keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay, gotcha. It's the 380 out of 415 or something, where, it's in here. Anybody else want to speak or have questions? Would anybody like to adjourn the meeting?
I make the motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Can I get a second? So motion seconded.
I'm just gonna set my cards back here.
Great. All in favor of adjourning the meeting? The meeting is so adjourned.
Nice job, everyone. 5 minutes early for the first time. After the last one, we needed it.
I was shooting for early. I was like, maybe we can make this happen.
Way to go.
Yeah, this is the always.
You're all in this team. Welcome. Glad you like it.
I have time.
Frankly, we don't have to go out. Yeah.